to yet another episode of The Grind with me, your host, Hibak Said. This week, we're focusing on insurance, insuring your business. Of the hundreds of thousands of businesses across this country, only a small number of businesses get insurance. With the recent fire tragedies and even the floods, this could be a reason for you to close shop, but we will be avoiding that. We have an expert. Let's go and see what she has to say about this. And as promised earlier, we do want to tell you why exactly it's important for you to be getting insurance, how you should be getting insurance, and why it's essential for you to be insuring your business in the first place. We already have the best of the best. Our expert today is going to be taking a deep dive into this. Eunice, if you could just start by, identifying yourself. What institution do you work with? What is your area of expertise? Why did you go into it?
Thank you, Hibak, for this opportunity. My name is Eunice Odero, and I'm an insurance advisor. I advise on all types of insurances, including business insurance, life insurance. But basically today I'm here to dive in and talk about business insurance.
More than 85% of businesses in this country are MSMEs. A lot of them might not recognize why it's even important to take insurance in the first place. What, as a business owner, should you see to trigger you into knowing that I should be getting insurance?
Thank you. Before I just get into that, let's bring us to speed on what is a business. In insurance, what is a business? It could be an entity, it could be an individual who does commercial work, industrial work, or even professional work to make their profits out of that. So if we look at all this scope of the three that I've mentioned, it is important to have insurance to litigate you against any losses that may come out of unforeseen events. And the losses do happen. The events do happen. I just want to give an example of what is happening right now. The floods are all over. Many people don't know that they could be having an insurance to mitigate them against such losses. Now, first and foremost is, as a business, do you really know which risks you're facing? So that is the first thing that you really need to find out. There is no business that does not face a risk, however small, however big. Okay? Because no business operates in space. We operate from maybe a premise, we use internet to do our businesses and the rest. So there is risk all over. The only thing is to identify which kind of risk are you prone to.
So what are the essential types of insurance that businesses should be considering?
Thank you. The most common ones, I'll put them into two types. In a business, we have property, we have items, the tangible items, and then we have the people who work in those businesses. So in terms of property, we'll first of all look at where that business is housed. It's the building, okay? We need to get insurance against fire, the building, okay? We need to get insurance against damage, because it could be a building and then maybe a tree falls and destroys the building. We need to get insurance against damage from falling objects. Maybe it's somewhere near, not even near an airport. Or we've seen accidents happening and then something just flies from up and destroys. So destruction of the building, okay, through fire and damage, okay. Then we have the contents of this building, what you're using in your business. Contents will mean maybe the stock you have, the inventory you have in the building, the furniture you're using in the building. If it is a manufacturing company, for example, the machinery that you're using in the building. These two should be covered against, again, fire, damages through the fire, damages through special perils. Those are things like floods, earthquakes, and things that are not of human nature, okay? Another thing that you need to insure them against is if the machinery is what, for example, runs your business, you need to get an insurance against the damages. The machinery is being broken down or something like that. Not due to negligence, but due to these unforeseen events. So that is the content. You have the stock, okay? The stock, the things you're selling maybe. We need to get insurance against burglary. So burglary means forceful entry or exit. So something is gotten out of the building, stolen out of the building, but through forceful entry or exit. So you need to get insurance against theft and burglary. It's called theft and burglary. So against, if you have your stock, for example, should there be theft happening, then you'll be compensated for what has been stolen. Another one that many people don't know but should be there is something called an all risk insurance for the contents. The all risk insurance covers the items that are movable. For example, laptops. If you're using laptops in your office or computer, or maybe a television that can be moved, or a projector, those ones should be given something called an all risk, in which the losses don't have to occur within the premises to be paid for. So they can be anywhere. It can be maybe in your car, you are going maybe for a business meeting, and then your car has been broken into and the laptop is stolen. That is the kind of risk you're talking about. This all risk also takes care of damages to these items due to accidents. Yeah. So that is for items only. You have goods in transit. If you are dealing with a business and you need to transport your goods to a customer, for example, we need to cushion you against the losses that may occur in the middle due to an accident. We see things like trucks overturning, and then people come in and steal the items.
Right, yes.
So you need to have an insurance against that to make sure that your goods reach safe to where they're supposed to reach. And if they don't, you are mitigated against that loss.
Right, that's very important.
Yeah, that was the first category of items. The other one is these people who are working in these businesses. There is a legal binding to any person who is an employer to cater for something called Work Injury Benefit Act. The Work Injury Benefit Act is an act of the Parliament that forces an employer to cater for damages, to cater for death due to their job, injuries, or even disabilities caused due to the kind of work they are doing. Should an employee suffer the three in employment, the courts will force you to pay them up to 8 times their annual salary. Okay? So we need to cushion yourself against that, because should an injury happen to an employee within the employment, not outside. Maybe they had gone to have fun or something and they're injured there. No, within in their line of duty. So if that happens, you are compelled to pay up to 8 years the salary of this person. And it's an act of Parliament. So if you don't take it, woe unto you. You can ignore it, yes, it's not forcible by the law, but it will be enforceable when you are taken to court. It's not like there's the car insurance that is a must. You can't drive a car without the third party insurance. It's enforceable, okay, at the point of using it. But WIBA, it's an act of Parliament. You won't be forced to have it.
Right.
However, should you be taken to court, you'll be forced to honor it, which is worse. So you'd rather comply with it without being forced to do that. So that is the first one and the most important, that each and every employee must. And this, I can just divert a bit, applies to even our domestic workers.
Right.
Yes.
Eunice, before we even delve even further into that, when we're talking about businesses, specificity is very important. A lot of businesses might be wondering, especially now that they've become cognizant of this particular conversation, they want to know, what insurance should I get, for what reason, what exactly is it going to be covering, and maybe what are some of the mistakes that people within different sectors are making when choosing insurance?
Okay, the most common mistake is under-assessing. You don't really assess the kind of risk your kind of business is facing. So you may say, I am starting a business, let me just cover this. And then when a loss occurs, you discover, oh my God, this could also be a problem. So to help you with this, it's advisable that you maybe get an expert to just tell you what kind of risk this kind of industry is facing. And what has happened in the industry is most insurance companies have tailor-made insurances based on the risks a certain industry is facing. I'll give an example of maybe a hotel industry. You'll find that an insurance company has a package, full package. You don't have to buy this for building, for what, separately. You just get a full package that will cover even your guests, against maybe something like food poisoning and all that. That does not happen to people who do other businesses. So as an individual, it's good if you are not able to assess, you may under-assess or even over-assess and pay a lot of premiums for no reason. So it's good maybe if you are not able to assess completely, work with an expert or an insurance advisor and they'll help you know. The other thing that most people, the mistake that most people do is they buy based on price. They'll say, I'm going to get the cheapest. It's not advisable to do that. The cheapest might have gotten a lot of exclusions or might not cover you completely because you need a discount or something like that. So let's not just use the pricing as a way of purchasing. Get to know what is truly covered. The other thing, and is the most common, is not understanding your policy document and your policy terms and conditions. What is exactly covered? What are the exclusions and all that? The policy documents, unlike old days, don't have very fine prints nowadays. They're very simplified, they're big, you can read them. If you're not able to go through all of it yourself, we will advise get someone. Get that person or the company that you've sourced the insurance from to go through it with you. If you have questions, ask. That is one of the most common mistakes. So read about it, understand what is covered and what is not covered. Yeah. The other one is research about the insurance company. Many people don't research. They say, this is the cheapest, this is what. First, research whether this company pays claims promptly. That is a thorn in the flesh. You will find that I'll go put my money there, then my claims are not paid promptly. And you know, one bad word spreads very fast. Then I'll start telling your business friends that insurances are not good, there's no need of doing it and all that. But just research. Many companies are doing it promptly. There's a lot of regulation from the insurance regulation and things are now good. Just research on which companies pay their claims promptly.
Right. Always do your homework.
Always do your homework.
It's very important for people to realize that. And the more you research on it, the better packages you get. And you know, you can just ensure that your business is always secured. And while we think about that, we go for a very short break. When we come back, we tell you more of the world of insurance.
Kila kiongozi ana hadithi yake ya kipekee.
Wazazi wangu walikuwa bit strict kwa sababu mamangu mwenyewe, mimi kutoka kuzaliwa sijailala nje.
The white small one, huyo ana sniff gunpowder na risasi na bomb. Alafu huyo mwingine ni ridgeback ana sniff simba.
Even the employees knows that. So when in the boardroom is the chairman, the CEO, and the rest of.
At what point are you a wife?
The minute you get to that inside that door, you become now the wife.
Na kila maamuzi wanayoyafanya hufichua mengi kuhusu utu wao na uongozi wao.
We see God blessing us, and we now realize the power of giving also has to be rewarded back.
Kupitia kipindi Mfahamu Kiongozi, tunakuletea mahojiano ya kusisimua na uchambuzi wa kina kuhusu viongozi wetu.
Pick your core business as the bigger stones. Put them in your diary first. Give priority the bigger things.
Usikose kila Alhamis saa 1:30 jioni.
In a world where challenges are as common as opportunities, there are those who dare to defy the odds. They are the entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurship isn't just about starting a business, it's about embracing uncertainty, pushing boundaries and turning dreams into reality.
Hata ambao ni pesa ya kusave, wallahi. Ambao mwaka ni pesa nyingi sana.
As long as you're earning something, there's always that opportunity to save. And you start with where you are.
The way we run the business is in a very unforgiving way. where every team member has to bring out their best.
So, to all the dreamers, innovators, and risk takers out there, remember, being an entrepreneur isn't just a job, it's a way of life. Join the journey. Become an entrepreneur. The Grind, Mondays at 7:30 p.m.
And welcome back to The Grind. This week we have been talking about insurance. Before we took the break, we were just assessing what are some of the things that businesses need to do before they get their insurance, while they're getting their insurance, what informs, what knowledge process takes place before you even land on that package that you're going to be paying for. All right, Eunice, maybe a business has already assessed whatever problems that they could be covering. They've already taken the insurance cover and now it's time to get your claims. What is the process?
The process is normally, the first thing you need to do is notify the insurance company that a certain event has occurred or you've suffered a certain loss. So once you get to you notify the insurance, you don't have to go personally. Things have changed. You can write an email. You can go personally. So once that has happened, the insurance will respond back, and then you'll need to fill in a claim form, and then they'll still tell you what documentations do you need, what are the items, the documents that you need or the proofs that we need to assess this claim. Once they receive back that from you, if need be, they'll, depending on the amount of loss or the projected loss or something, they may appoint an assessor. Insurances work with assessors, so they may appoint an assessor who will have to go to the site, assess the loss, and then give us a report. If there is need be again, we may appoint an investigator, and based on those two reports, it doesn't have to go that direction. Sometimes if it's something that is straightforward, we may not go to the investigator, but if you go to that extent, we'll incorporate whatever the material facts you gave us, whatever you gave us in the claim form, whatever the assessor has given and whatever the investigator has given. And if the claim is genuine and payable, we will give the client an offer. And an offer is in the form of a discharge voucher. So we'll send you a discharge voucher and say, this is the amount we are paying to settle this particular claim. If the client accepts, they'll sign the discharge voucher and they'll be paid. If they don't accept, they are free to appeal from that point. And the process can continue like that.
What are some of the common mistakes that a lot of businesses make when making these claims?
The first thing is, remember initially I said someone didn't read their policy documents. And I want to give an example. There's something called political violence and terrorism. This is mostly an exclusion, and you can just add it as an extension. And someone didn't have it as an extension. Then there was some mandamano somewhere and your business was broken into and all that. And you come to claim, and we know it was that, and you didn't have that extension. Chances are it might not be paid, and then that is the mistake. You didn't read your document. The other thing is not reporting on time, because that will bring a question mark. Why didn't you report on time? Why are you trying to fix some things and all that? Notify the authorities, because most claims, especially for businesses, if it's fire, if it's theft, notify the police. That is our first sight, isn't it? Notify the police, authorities that this has happened. So not bringing the correct documentation, not notifying the insurance on time. Because you can imagine someone has a claim and then they come in after 3 months that my house burnt or my business burnt 3 months ago. It's not credible, isn't it? So notify on time and notify authorities. Have the necessary documentation, sana for your businesses. Yeah.
Eunice, a lot of natural disasters have been occurring, and that could be a problem for very many businesses. What would you say is the importance of having an agent to guide you when things like this happen?
If you are covered for those natural disasters, an agent will always advise you, this is what is covered and this is the claim process. You will not have to have the back and forth and all that. We'll want you to refocus on how you're going to bring back your business. That is why it's important to just use an agent to do the other work for you. Talking about natural disasters is one thing I know most Kenyans didn't know, that they are covered. They are covered. Floods are covered. Trees falling are covered under something we call special perils. So most things are covered. So what I want to urge people is just walk to any insurance company and find out what can be done for your business. Yes.
You're saying a lot of businesses don't know that they're being covered for a lot of things. So how can people get the best value for their insurance premiums?
The best way, first of all, is, and I can say this has come from the insurance company, based on histories, they've been able to tailor-make businesses for insurances for specific businesses. So you find that if you're in a specific business, once you come to us, you don't have to ask so many questions. We know you're in the school industry, maybe you have a school. We know this is the package we'll give you that will cover you and the students comprehensively. You have a shop or a supermarket, this is what we'll give you. So to get the best, don't go and buy separate insurances for your business. Just go and source for one that can be tailor-made for you and to cover everything at a smaller fee than buying separate. Because if you have a business, for example, a supermarket or a school, you don't need to go and buy maybe car insurances separately. You can get it incorporated in one policy. Yeah.
Now, what role does customization play, especially now that you've pointed out, instead of buying bulk insurance, you can just get a customized, insurance. What role does it play in ensuring that you save a lot of money in the long run?
Yes, apart from saving the money, we call it focused risk management. We are able to focus on the risk. As a business owner, we are able to give you something called a focused risk management. And then customization will also give you flexibility, meaning we already know the industry you're in. We have the history. We know how this industry behaves in terms of risk and all that. So it's very flexible. We can tailor-make. You can say, I want this done this way and this done this way, than going to buy what is already in the market. When you go to buy what is already in the market, I can say it's like food that is already been cooked. You have to eat it the way it is. But here we can call it a la carte or something like that. Yeah, we order it for yourself. So there's flexibility and there's a lot of focused risk management. And in the long run, it's cost reduction on your side. The cost that goes to insurance buying.
Right. Say you were pitching towards a client right now, and some of these small businesses don't really see the need of getting, customized, insurance. What would you tell them is the most beneficial thing in getting that?
The first thing I'll tell them is, yes, I'll go and talk to them about insurance, but the first thing is insurance is not bought when it's needed. It's only it's bought when it's not needed. When you need it, when in the floods and when your house has burnt, we can't give you insurance. When you're already sick, we cannot give you medical cover. So this is the time to consider. And the fact is, the risks could be there. The risks are there. But as a business person, which one would you rather do? Would I mitigate myself from this risk that might come and make my business go down completely? It might not. Or let me just take this cover. Should it come, I'll be in a better position. And when you do that, you'll be at peace with your business. You can even expand your business without worrying, because I know I'm doing this and this in an insurance company that is covering me at the back. Yeah. So any business, however small, there's some capital that went into that. There's a lot of workmanship that has gone into that. There's a lot of man time that you've put into that business. A small fee in terms of an insurance premium should not let you slide to bankruptcy or closing down your business, or even getting to big losses in terms of court cases and such things. So it's very small. The fee is very small compared to what it's cushioning you against.
Right. And we know, insurance is always changing. The Insurance Regulatory Authority, the governing body is changing things, and policies are being shifted all the time. What are the emerging trends in the sector?
The first thing I'm impressed about is automation. For a very long time, people used to think insurance is a bit rigid. and old school. But there's a lot of automation that is happening right now. I'll just give a few. An example is currently for, say, motor vehicle insurances, there are some gadgets that can be placed, some sensors that can be placed on the vehicles. And when there's a crash, for example, or an impact, sends a message to the insurance company. First thing is the insurance company will get in touch with you to find out, we've had there's an impact, you've gotten an accident, are you okay? If you're not okay, they are getting to you. They can send in a breakdown, they can send in an ambulance to come to your rescue. One thing about automation is you cannot lie that there was an accident, because there would be an impact. If you may say, maybe I got an accident at a different place and the sensor says you were in a different place, you know. So one thing about this automation is it helps us settle claims faster, because there are a lot of material facts that it gives us before you even come with your information. The other thing, it helps us identify fraud. I know, not badly, but Kenyans are very clever people, and fraud is one of the things that many insurances have been grappling with over the years. So that is one of the automations that have been happening. The other one is AI, use of AI. So when you just feed some information, you'll be able to know what is not adding up, from the point where you're taking the policy to the point where there is a claim. The other thing that is emerging that I'm impressed about is cyber security insurance. For a very long time, no one wanted to touch that, but you find that most businesses, as long as they're using internet, are at the risk of being cyber attacked, and this can cost them a lot of damages. So the insurance industry in Kenya is embracing that and even offering that now for businesses. That is an emerging trend. The other one is insurance where I can say you pay as you use. Right. It is coming up, very nice. Mostly it starts with the motor insurance, because I think it's the biggest coverage, where if your car is not moving, you're not charged for your insurance. Right. It is happening in Kenya and it's coming up. So those are some of the trends that I find are really improving what people used to think about insurance. And again, now you can easily buy insurance. You don't have to walk into an insurance company. Through network providers, for example, you can just use a USSD and buy an insurance. Like for your phone, you just dial a certain number, you give your details and you have your cover. Okay? Penetration, many insurance companies have made it easy again, and through even banks, you're able to get these insurances from the banks. So the insurance companies have reached the people. It's easier to buy than before.
Right, and it's a very exciting field. Clearly, things are changing every single day.
Yes.
And prior preparation prevents poor performance. So ensure that you get insurance for a lot of your businesses. That would make it easier for you to be successful. And talking of success, this is the end of The Grind. Thank you so much for being a part of this. Until next week, same time, same place. My name is Hibak Said. Have yourselves a very lovely night.